Good evening, baseball fans, and welcome to Lexington High School for another edition of 2025 Intercity League Baseball, featuring your Lexington Blue Sox and the visiting Malden Maddogs. Before we get started with the game tonight, we would like to introduce you to this evening's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Malden Maddogs. Leading off, the center fielder, Luke Whitney. Batting second, playing second base, Luke Mealy. Batting third, the designated hitter, Anthony Pellegrino. Batting fourth, starting at extra hitter, Sam Browning. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Teddy McLaughlin. Batting sixth, starting at shortstop, Miles Ooh. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Jared McDonald. Batting eighth, starting at catcher, Otto McLaughlin. Batting ninth, the left fielder, Bowden Bellinger. Batting 10th, starting at third base, Matt McDuff. And on the mound for the Mad Dogs, the right-handed pitcher, Alex Casey. The Mad Dogs are led by General Manager Henry Butterfield and Field Manager Nick Vinoki. And now the starting lineup for your Lexington Blue Sox. Leading off, the shortstop, number 12, Jesse McCullough. Batting second, the third baseman, number 4, Brendan Jones. Batting third, starting at center field, number 33, Nick Anderson. Batting cleanup, the right fielder, number 9, Jake McElroy. Batting fifth, starting in left field, number 18, Charlie Camella. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 21, Luke Maltasia. Batting seventh, the extra hitter, number 22, Dom Gabardi. Batting eighth, starting at second base, number 46, David Vanderzowen. Batting ninth, the designated hitter, number 14, Pat Casserly. Batting 10th, the first baseman, number 19, Luke Ward. And on the mound for the Blue Sox, the right-handed pitcher, number 40, Chris Wannett. The Blue Sox are led by their general manager and field manager, Rick DeAngelis. Fans, we remind you to please enjoy this game under all tenets of good sportsmanship. We defer to the umpiring crew on any and all decisions regarding ejections, and remember, their decisions are final. Without further ado, let's play ball.
From the dulcet tones of one Chris Del Sordo to the tones, certainly, of yours truly, from center field at Lexington High School, Lexington, Mass. This is Lexington Blue Sox baseball here on LSP. Tonight, it's the Malden Mad Dogs, a record of 5-2, first in the ICL. Rare air for the Mad Dogs franchise in their time in the Intercity League, taking on the Lexington Blue Sox, 2-3 so far in 5 games in the ICL, having alternated losses and wins through the first 5. Good evening, everybody. Sam Feely here with you, ready to bring you the play-by-play story. And as I mentioned, rare air for the Mad Dogs to be in first place and be the first team to 10 points, in fact, in the ICL. This is a team that has never struggled at the plate in all their years in the Intercity League, but pitching has been the bugaboo for them. Not the case this year. Now, you need to understand the Mad Dogs have, in all their years in the ICL, have finished either last or next to last in the league in team ERA. And the team's best ERA, single season best for a pitcher for ERA for the Mad Dogs as they joined the ICL was about 3.5. They enter play tonight with 2 of the top 5 ERAs in the Intercity League. And those would be Brock Haynes at 1.11 and Justin Posnick at 1.14. Blue Sox coming off a tough loss on Monday night, scored the opening mark on the top of the first against the Americans. Americans scored the equalizer, and then they hung on in a pitcher's duel, all things considered, and 3 runners getting nabbed on the bases, 2 caught stealing and a pickoff, really neutered the Blue Sox efforts to try and make a comeback and get above 500, but now they're hoping to pull up to 500. They got the ace on the mound to try and accomplish that, and that would be one Chris want it. So how bad do the Blue Sox want it? Let's find out as Luke Whitney leads things off in the top of the first for the Malden Maddogs.
And leading us off, the center fielder, number 33, Luke Whitney.
Whitney entering play 4 for 17, 235, 480, 235 is slugging his slash line rather. No extra base hits, 2 RBIs, 8 walks, which is a team high, and 6 steals in as many attempts. Swings at the first one, fouls it off the other way. We are underway at 7:58, a little bit ahead of schedule. Whitney, Mealy, Pellegrini, Browning, McLaughlin, McDonald, McLaughlin, Bellinger, and McDuff, the starting lineup for the starting 10 for the Malden Maddogs. 0-2 now as Wannett gets Whitney to swing over the top of that one. Fouled off the other way. We'll do it again. You sadistic. I mean, it's an official broadcast right from the start, eh? Whitney takes the ball. Look, don't be rooting for people's days to be ruined with those foul balls. Come on, man. 1-2 is the count. Blue Sox, again, coming off the 3-1 loss to the Americans Monday night. Would have played the Bulldogs last night, but the persistent rain Monday and Tuesday waterlogged center field to the point where the town of Lexington actually closed all public fields yesterday. And Whitney trying to walk off that foul ball there. Still in this one at 1-2. Wannett misses outside. Eves the count at 2. Wannett's only appearance so far is against the Andre Chiefs back on May 28th. Went 3 2/3 innings, allowed 3 hits, no runs, walked 3, struck out 4. It's going to be a tough play, off balance, and absolutely not going to happen. Now the ball rolls away and then rolls out of play. So runner in scoring position to begin the ball game for the Mad Dogs. The single and the error have the Mad Dogs looking to get into business early.
Now batting for Malden, the second baseman, number 10, Luke Mealy.
Well, tough break there for Wannett. Ahead of the leadoff man 0-2. Really would like to see a 1-2-3 inning to start the ball game if you're the Blue Sox with your ace on the mound and trying to pull level in the winning percentage department, get back to 500. But even if you do win, you can't keep, can't keep alternating losses and wins. You gotta put a streak together somehow. Here is Mealy coming up empty on the first pitch, 0-1. Luke Mealy, the Mad Dogs second baseman. .478, 500, 565 is his slash line. Team high 11 hits, 2 doubles, 6 ribbies. Count is 1-1. Grounder to the left side, and foul will be 1-2. So another 2-strike count on a Mad Dogs hitter here in the top of the first. Wannett was unable to get the first one. Now he's in scoring position. Can he get Mealy? Little grounder to short. Will this be... no, it will not. It will not be any easier that time. A bloodbath of a hop makes it runners at the corners. Well, things starting to snowball early, it seems, for the Blue Sox. And now Anthony Pellegrini, the designated hitter, with a chance to do some big damage early on. Strike on the outside corner to Pellegrini. 4 for 7 in his first 2 games of the year. Comes up empty there. 0-2. Pellegrini has 4 RBIs in his first 2 games, which came against the Bulldogs on June 5th. The Americans yesterday. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Huge strikeout there for out number 1 here in the top of the first.
Now batting for the Maddogs, the extra hitter, number 15, Sam Browning.
Here's Sam Browning. 300, 462, 400 his slash line. 1 double, 3 RBI. Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled off for strike 1. Luke Maltasea getting the start behind the plate tonight for the Blue Sox. We'll see if he can continue this great tradition of the last few years of Blue Sox catchers just being absolute stalwarts defensively. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second. He gone. Throw back home, and in the back door comes Whitney to score. Mealy is thrown out. 2 down, and the base is empty. An 0-2 count. So they concede the run on the doubles, on the delayed steal in the back door, throwing out Mealy, but it's base is empty. 2 down, 0-2 count, now 1-2. Maltasea nabs Mealy. Now a ground to the left side, and we'll see if the Mad Dogs can start it up again as Browning collects a base hit. Inning continues, and the strikeout of Pellegrini. At that point, you're just a ground ball away from potentially getting out of that inning unscathed if you want it. But with the runner going on each of the first 2 pitches of that at bat, it's not going to happen so easily. Runner at first, 2 down. Here is Teddy McLaughlin, and he takes outside for a ball. This is the first pitch ball of the inning for Wannett. Teddy entering play, slashing, 333, 368, 333, 3 ribbies. 3s are wild, apparently, on his stat line. And that'll be a strike to even the count of 1. Mad Dogs have won 3 in a row since getting drubbed by the Chiefs. 14-2 on June 2nd. Beat the Sabres 8-7, the Bulldogs 13-3, and the Americans 6-2. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Of course, the Mad Dogs winning a back-and-forth affair back on May 30th against the Blue Sox in their first meeting of the season. It was meeting number 2. Meeting number 3 will be later this year at Maplewood. All the ICL teams playing 3 games against each other, and then 10 out of the possible 12 interleague opponents to make up the 28-game ICL schedule this year. Way high, nicks off of Maltasea's glove, and to second goes Browning. It is a full count. 2 outs. Doesn't necessarily change your tack defensively, but does make a base hit that much more enticing for the Maddogs. Payoff. Fly ball. Caught on the run by Nick Anderson for the out that retires aside. Good job by Wannett to limit the damage. 1-0 Maddogs at the top of the first.
One runner left on base. We move to the bottom of the first inning with the score. The Malden Maddogs 1. Your Lexington Blue Sox 0. Due up for the Blue Sox in the bottom of the first, McCullough, Jones, and Anderson.
LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in card. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly. Made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the link and codes on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. Alex Casey will get the nod on the mound tonight for the Malden Maddogs. They look to pick up their second win over the Blue Sox this season, which would immediately ensure them of the tiebreaker in any potential scenarios of that nature later on this season over the Blue Sox. Be Jesse McCullough to lead things off for the Blue Sox, followed by Brendan Jones at Jesse at short. Brendan Jones at third. Nick Anderson is in center. Jake McElroy is in right. Charlie Camelo is in left. Luke Maltasea behind the plate. Dom Gabardi, the extra hitter. David Vanderzoun at second. Pat Casserly, the DH, and Luke Ward at first, rounding out the 10-man Blue Sox lineup. And Jesse McCullough takes on the outside corner for strike one. McCullough entering play 4 for 12 on the year, but now he's behind 0-2. No walks, but 1 double and 2 ribbies. Early hole here for the Blue Sox leadoff hitter. McCullough able to lay off that one just outside. It is 1-2. 0-2 to 2-2. McCullough did not play at all for the Blue Sox last year. The year before that, in 2023, only played in 2 games, but was productive 3 for 4. 2022, played in 10 games, was 7 for 20 with 4 ribbies and 4 walks. The battle continues with a full count here to the Blue Sox leadoff man. No Anderson Jimenez in the lineup tonight. Brendan Jones getting the start at third and David Vanderzoun at second, and of course McCullough at short. In one of those spots you could reasonably find AJ starting the game, and that'll be fouled off again. Of course, more notably, you often see him in the number 2 slot in the lineup, but that'll be Brendan Jones tonight. No Julian Alvarez, no Eric Ramirez. But hopefully there'll be no problem in that regard for Lexington. What an at-bat to start the game here from Jesse McCullough. I mean, obviously, if you're a Blue Sox fan, you want to see him get on base somehow, but a prolonged at-bat to begin the ball game will put at least some kind of pressure on the Mad Dog starter earlier, and he coaxes the walk out of him after starting 0-2. For McCullough, that is his first walk of the season. And now he's on first as a man who is 2 for 2 this season in steals and 5 for 6 in his Blue Sox career. And that darts inside for ball 1 to Brendan Jones. Snap throw back to first, and back safely is McCullough. Jones getting his season debut here with the Blue Sox in this one. Number 2 slot. Blue Sox playing from behind, but hoping to pull even quickly, both in the standings, in their record, and in the scoreboard tonight right now. And that hit him. So that's obviously, that would have gotten McCullough to second anyways. But the plunking makes it first and second. So here is Nick Anderson. One for 5, getting his first hit of the season Monday against Melrose and driving in the Blue Sox only run of that game. Takes outside ball 1. Last year in 23 games for the Blue Sox in the regular season, Nick slashed .333, .455, .633, 2 doubles, 5 triples, 2 homers, 22 ribbies, 11 out of 13 in stolen bases. 3-0 now from one Alex Casey to Nick Anderson. Taken all the way. 3-1. Now Anderson will go to work. In 2 games against the Maddogs in the regular season, last year, Anderson was 2 for 4 with 5 runs scored and 4 walks. He also stole 5 bases. And 3-0 to 3-2, and Casey hoping to reverse the McCullough at bat. Just down and in for a ball, and they are loaded.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the right fielder, number 9, Jake McElroy.
Here's Jake McElroy. First 3 batters of the inning have reached for the Blue Sox without the aid of a hit. And that'll be outside for another ball. Jake McElroy slashing .222, 300. 273, 273, 364 in the early going. Now he's even in the count. 1-1. Was 3 for 4 in the loss of the Maddogs back on May 30th, and now he's behind 1-2. Matter of fact, that game against the Maddogs produced all 3 of his hits this year. He was 0 for 1 against Andre on May 28th, 0 for 3 against the Expos on June 2nd, and 0 for 3 against the Americans on Monday. Slap the opposite way into right center field. That'll get down for a base hit. 1 run will score easily. Here comes another. Anderson gets the stop sign at third. It's a 2-run poke for Jake McElroy. 2-1 Blue Sox.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the left fielder, number 18, Charlie Camella.
What do you do? Just put Jake on the shelf until the one game against the Maddogs at the bandbox known as Maplewood? I don't know. You got to keep him warmer than that, though. So single, 2 ribbies for Jake McElroy. Blue Sox lead, and now that darts inside to Charlie Camella for ball 1. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the first. The Blue Sox grabbing their first lead of the ball game. Runner goes. The pitch is popped up on the infield, and a long run to go to the third baseman. It drops. They have an easy force at second, and they get that. And now they're going to try and get Anderson coming home. He got him. Wow. Kind of a kooky play there, but a huge break for the Maddogs. I mean, you had McDuff coming in hot trying to follow that pop-up, and you had McElroy running with the pitch, and then in that spot, you're kind of frozen if you're McElroy. If he catches it, you might get thrown out at first. If you drop it, now you got to restart your engines, get to second in time, and in the end, get the force at second, and then tag out Anderson, try to sneak in the back door. And so it goes from runners at the corners, nobody out, to runner on first, 2 down. Just like that. Fly ball by Camella into right, and turned the right fielder around a bit, McLaughlin, but he hauls it in for the out that retires his side. The theme of the first inning was limiting the damage that could have been a lot worse. And after 1 inning, it is 2-1 Blue Sox.
The Lexington Blue Sox 2, the Malden Maddogs 1. 2 up for the Maddogs in the top of the second. McDonald and McLaughlin.
Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly for all the deets. As we go to the top of the second after a wacky first inning in both halves.
Leading off the top of the second for the Maddogs, the shortstop, number 31, Miles.
It is 2-1 Blue Sox, and it could have been a lot more. And both pitchers breathing a sigh of relief, and McDonald and McLaughlin due up to begin the second inning. Maltasea following it on this pop-up and makes the catch. And after that inning, a 1-pitch out is just what the doctor ordered. 4 wanted.
Now batting for the Maddogs, the first baseman, number 50, Jared McDonald.
So is retired on 1 pitch, and here's Jared McDonald. Comes up empty for strike 1. McDonald slash line 273, 429, 273 in the early going with 3 RBIs. Laced the other way down the line for a base hit. McDonald will hold up at first with a 1-out single.
Now batting for the Maddogs, the catcher, number 26, Otto McLaughlin.
And here is former Lawrence Academy Spartan grade Otto McLaughlin, him and Teddy. 375, 444, 375 is slash line. 3 RBIs. And is on the outside edge for a strike. 0-1. Oh, high bouncer. Wanted, has it, has to fire a seed to first, and he got him. I mean, it's just throwing another pitch, isn't it?
Now batting for the Maddogs, the left fielder, number 34, Malden.
Well, McDonald gets into scoring position on that one, and here is Bowden Bellinger to try and keep the line moving. 2 down here in the top of the second. Bellinger playing in his second game of the year. He was 0 for 2 last night against Melrose. Little dribbler up the third base line. It's going to be a tough play, and it is a foul ball. Oh, boy, Brendan Jones swiping it foul at the precisely correct moment. Boy, you have to get on his hands and knees and blow the ball foul like that. It is 0-1. We're referring to a very old play by the very doo-doo early era Seattle Mariners, just so we're clear. Like the pre-Griffey Mariners. Like, ooh. Pre-anything good. 0-1 is the count. Nearly a pickoff at second base, though, in between. Curveball drops in there, 0-2. Maddogs enter play tonight with the best team batting average in the ICL, but aren't doing it with a whole lot of power. They have 11 total extra base hits out of their 65. Swing and a miss.
For the Maddogs in the top of the second inning, no runs on 1 hit.
And the side is retired.
One runner left on base. We will head to the bottom of the second inning. The Lexington Blue Sox 2, the Malden Maddogs 1. Due up for the Blue Sox at the bottom of the second, Gabardi, Vanderzowen, and Casserly.
Wannett picks up his second strikeout, and the Blue Sox still lead 2-1 after a buck and a half. Hi, Mrs. Wojtek. Did you break out the iron? When I say LSP is something for everyone since 2011, I by God mean it, but not good luck ironing. Sports, live events, pet sitting and walking, tech help errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page or Linktree LSP37 or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need.
Leading off the bottom of the second for the Blue Sox, the extra hitter, number 22, Dom Gabardi.
Gabardi, Vanderzowen, and Casserly due up here in the bottom of the second, and a fine play at third base by Matt McDuff. Robs Gabardi of a leadoff single. Ms. Vanderzouwen's baby boy getting the start second base tonight, and that was a strike, 0-1. Looked like it ran a bit inside there, but Casey, who's had decent stuff tonight, no doubt. It's just we heard them saying to him from the Mad Dogs dugout, you're not doing anything wrong when he was not getting the calls he wanted in that bottom of the first. You know, it's nothing wrong. It's not like, the Mad Dogs were chirping because they thought those pitches were strikes. Sometimes it just takes a little extra moment before you fully oiled to get the rest of your night on the mound going. For a quick out to begin this inning. Full count now to Vanderzouwen. Again, Casserly following him, and if anyone gets on, Luke Ward. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. Not sure if Vanderzouwen was about to pitch the bat and go to first, but that was a pretty clear-cut strike from this vantage point. So, 1-2-3 inning would do the Mad Dogs good here as Casserly steps to the plate. Pat Casserly, the DH. Well, he absolutely has. Cass looking for his first hit of the season, 0 for 5 of the walk through his first 3 games. Grounds this to short, on to first. Oh boy, not just a 1-2-3 inning, a very quick 1-2-3 inning. As that routine ground out sends us to the third, 2-1 Blue Sox. The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including some stuff with my dog, Tina the Long Arena, on it, and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. LSP37.create-spring.com for merch. Email yours truly for game videos. We go to the top of the third, 10-1-2 due up for the Malden Mad Dogs, McDuff, Whitney, and Mealy. McDuff, fresh off a fine play to rob Dom Gabardi of a leadoff single in the bottom of the second. Lead things off himself here in the top of the third. Want it back to work and fires a strike in there, 0-1. That's us. That's where we are. That's where you're watching. Hi, everybody. The disembodied voices, one fainter than the other, even if he had a mic connected to the stream.
I could get Philadelphia on it, but I still think you got
And God forbid we have to go into shouting into the internal mic and the camera mode again after the power outages last week. Hottest day of the year in early June so far, and that caused us to suspend the game against the Melrose Americans. The Blue Sox, as Rick DeAngelis will tell you, absolutely have the talent to continue the dominance that they've sort of let go of over the last 3 years. I mean, part of it is like getting into a rhythm, getting in sync with all of your teammates, but sometimes that can't be helped. PFP, baby, one up, one down. Because if you have all these, like, stops and starts with your schedule, it's hard to get in a rhythm just on an individual level physically.
The center fielder, number 33, Luke Whitney.
That's why you'll see some players actually play in multiple leagues in this circuit because they got to, keep the blood going, as it were. But then again, that that might bring up the possibility of, are you going to fall out of sync because you're working with a new set of teammates every night? But then again, that could be the case just within one league too. That's just the nature of, amateur ball. It's the nature of the beast, but if you're a competitor, you can tune that stuff out and just handle what you can handle, Handle it, just control what you can control. Read the top line, 1 and 2. And that's advice, any baseball player will get at any level. It just expands to a broader context within the sport. 1 and 2. Slapped up the middle. Oh, nice diving stop. Not in time. Fine effort by Jesse McCullough, but is a one-out single for Whitney. McCullough sliding to his left on his knees. Stronger throw. I don't know if that even would have gotten Whitney at that point with his speed, but it is a one-out single. Fine effort nonetheless.
Second baseman, number 10, Luke Mealy. That was a strong throw anyway.
Yeah, I feel like coming out, it was like a little maybe wobbly or something. But anyways. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that gets into center field. It's the same result, but that at least makes it exciting and might give you a second thought next time you're in that situation. The ball's hit towards Jesse. Popped up in a foul territory. Luke Ward lets it go. It is now 0-2 to Luke Mealy. Heart of the order coming up next for the Mad Dogs with the designated hitter Pellegrini in the on-deck circle. That bounces. Maltasea follows it and is just going to eat it as Whitney takes second on the wild pitch. And now the tying run again in scoring position. McDonald got to second last inning after his one-out single. Maddogs couldn't bring him home. Let's see if this plays out any differently. Wow. That went down and away, and Maltasea completely lost sight of the ball. Rolled over towards the Mad Dogs dugout. And that allowed Whitney to take third easily. 2-2 now. So less room for error now for Wanted. It's one thing if something like that happens and you got the catcher's head on a swivel, but Luke looked like he thought he had the ball trapped the whole time. And that will bring home a run. So 2 wild pitches in the same at-bat allow the Mad Dogs to tie it.
The designated hitter, number 32, Anthony Pellegrini.
Well, now you're just in a spot where if you want it, got to play limit the damage again. 0-1 is the count to Anthony Pellegrini. Struck out his first time up. Mealy with the RBI single at first, and that goes outside for a ball. It's in there for a strike. Mealy's RBI, his now team-leading 7th of the year. Breaks a three-way tie with Colin Kinsella and Marco Zerpolo. Back pick attempt. Nope. I mean, Maltasea has been closed a couple times. He did get one, though. He actually got Mealy earlier in the game in the delayed steal by Whitney of home. Snuck in the back door while Mealy went off to second. It's down away, and now it's a full count. No one warming currently in the Blue Sox bullpen. Cleanup man Sam Browning due up next. Grounder to short. McCullough to second for one. On to first. Double play. Massive double play there for the Blue Sox to keep this game tied after 2.5.
No Blue Sox errors, one runner left on base. We'll end the bottom of the third inning all tied up at 2 apiece. Due up for the Blue Sox in the bottom of the third, Ward, McCullough, and Jones.
Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course there are. And follow and support us on the web. Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Flash the subscribe button. PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37. All the cool kids are doing it.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the first baseman, number 19, Luke Ward.
10-1-2 due up for the Blue Sox here in the bottom of the third. Luke Ward, Jesse McCullough, and Brendan Jones. Ward comes up empty and a pitch up and away. 0-1. Ward 3 for 7 on the season. Drives it the other way, and that is rolling all the way to the wall, and he's got a leadoff double. You were waving your finger around like it was a home run, and I was like...
He's fast for a first. Now batting for the Blue Sox,
Backhanded compliment Jones over here.
number 12, Jesse McCullough.
I mean, Jeff Bagwell was fast for a first base. He had a 30-30 season there.
And who says Luke Ward isn't capable of that? Check it over once.
I mean, anyways, Ward with his first extra base hit of the year. And now a single by McCullough into left. I'll put the brakes on Ward here. It's coming in quickly to field it is Bellinger. Speaking of 30-30 capable first baseman. Is runners up at the quarters, nobody out now for Brendan Jones.
Number 4, Brendan Jones.
Huge opportunity here for the Blue Sox to get back in front. Trailed 1-0 to start, took a 2-1 lead. Maddogs pulling even, and now a grounder kicks off the first baseman. Only play would be to first if there is one, and there ain't. It is 3-2.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the center fielder, number 33, Nick Anderson.
First 3 batters reaching in the inning for the Blue Sox. Sound familiar? Well, see what Nick Anderson can do. Drew a walk his first time up. Talked about his, video game numbers from last season. Road to the show. Road to the show had more steals than Ricky and Brock combined, more home runs than Bonds and Aaron combined. Anyways, my God. You just keep resetting the console when you are in a sticky situation. Haven't we all? 1-1 to Anderson. Yeah, shallow fly ball down the left field line. That's going to get down for a base hit. Aggressive turn here by McCullough coming home. (4-2) as Anderson picks up the ribby.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the right fielder, number 9, Jake McElroy.
First 4 have reached. 2 have already come home. And Jake McElroy hoping to have a similar result to his last AB when he drove in the first 2 Blue Sox runs. Inside corner, strike 1. Going back to the game against the Maddogs back on May 30th. That was a back and forth game in its own right. Not quite the same shape as this one, though. It's a game that the Blue Sox led 1-0 after 1. Maddogs scored 4 unanswered. Take a 4-1 lead. Blue Sox took the lead in the bottom of the 5th with 4, as that is strike 3 called. Take a 5-4 lead. Maddogs pull even in the 6th. Blue Sox get the lead back. 3 outs to get in the 7th inning, up 6-5. Maddogs picked up 2 runs. They won that game 7-6, despite being out hit 11-6. 3 Blue Sox errors certainly didn't help the cause there. 1 down. Camella takes inside. Second strikeout of the game, by the way, for Casey, and both have been called third strikes. Camella popped up into that wacky 5-6-2 double play that really stymied the Blue Sox efforts to, get a bigger inning than they did in that first. The first 4 had reached in that inning, too. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And the double play, the pop-up by Camella, and then the fly ball by Maltasea put an end to that bottom of the first inning for the Blue Sox. Way outside, full count. Jones at second and Anderson at first. First and second with 1 out and a full count. Probably not going to send the runners here. But see what happens. At the knees for strike 3 called. Another called third strike for Alex Casey. All 3 of his strikeouts, again, have been called out, looking. And Maltasea will try and cash in here. Again, it's another game of can you prevent the floodgates from opening? Saw want to do that in the first and the third. And now we're going to see if Casey can do that in the first and now the third. Is when all of our runs have been scored so far this game. And it's basically, when we're talking about alternating, one run, you look at the line score out there. First inning, 1 for guests, 2 for home. Second inning, nothing. Third inning, so far anyways, 1 for guests, 2 for home. Now, Maltasia would like to find a gap and extend the lead a bit more because we know that these Mad Dogs will not make it easy for you. Blue Sox learned that the hard way in the loss in their first meeting. Gotta get separation. Separation was one of the big things I talked about in the standings that no team had been able to get early on the ICL season. And a fine running catch reaching up Bellinger for the out that retires the side. The Blue Sox get 2 runs on 3 hits and leave 2, and they lead 4-2 after 3.
The Lexington Blue Sox 4, the Malden Maddogs 2. Due up for the Maddogs in the top of the 4th, Browning, McLaughlin, and Ooh.
LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and game card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly, made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the codes and link on the screen and in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is.
Leading off the top
4, 5, and 6 in the
Maddogs, the extra hitter.
Mad Dogs lineup due up here in the top of the 4th. Browning, McLaughlin, and Ooh. So the Blue Sox now leading by 2, 4-2.
It's called naive, but it's like a great, like, random, any
And swung on foul in the screen, 4 strike 1.
You're the guitar, right? You can't not listen. Yeah, good stuff.
Browning, base hit, his first time up. Ooh. Foul ball, looked like it might have clipped Maltasia and or the home plate umpire, but guess we don't need to have Mark come out and do the concussion protocol or the field sobriety test or whatever. 0-2. Want it back out there for his 4th inning of work. Outside for a ball. Want it again. 3 2/3 innings in his first outing of the season against Andre on May 28th. Will floater into the Bermuda Triangle on the right side and a sliding catch. Jake McElroy, who had a huge hit in the first, bringing home 2 runs. Now is a huge defensive play for the first out of the 4th.
The right fielder, number 8, Teddy McLaughlin.
Sliding feet first to make that catch, and with the dew point and such, that grass is going to be slick. It might carry you a bit. Made a huge play there for out number 1. And that'll be on the inside edge for strike 1 to Teddy McLaughlin. Fly out to center, his first time up. Grounds this one to McCullough. 2 down. So Miles Zoo will try to prevent a 1-2-3 inning.
Now batting for the Maddogs, the shortstop, number 31, Miles Ooh.
Ooh popped up to the catcher, Maltasia, his first time up for the first out of the second. Grounds this one back up the box. First pitch swinging 2-out single to keep the inning alive. Brings a tying run to the plate in the person of Jared McDonald.
The first baseman, number 50, Jared McDonald.
Donald with a single his first time up. Got to second base. Ground out by McLaughlin, but was stranded there. Hits this one the other way into left, and that'll get down in front of the left fielder, Camella. Ooh holds it second, and now a 2-out rally happening here for the Mad Dogs, now getting the tying run to first. And the go-ahead run coming to the plate in the person of Otto McLaughlin.
Now batting for the Mad Dogs, the catcher, number 26, Otto McLaughlin.
McLaughlin, his ground out in the second was a fine defensive play in his own right by Chris Wannett. Tough play coming off the mound, then firing a seed over to first base. I mean, just tip of the iceberg there for Wannett to throw that hard, just a little further than you usually do as a pitcher. McLaughlin grounds it foul down the first base line. Sigh of relief there for the Blue Sox, and it is 0-1. Ooh at second and McDonald at first on back-to-back singles after the first 2 hitters of this inning. Browning and McLaughlin, Teddy that is, were retired with relative ease on a fly out to right. That's not an easy play there. Saw it, and the ground out to short. Throw on to first, however, puts an end to the Malden threat. Halfway home, 4-2 Blue Sox.
In the top of the fourth, no runs on 2 hits. No Blue Sox errors, 2 runners left on base. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The score remains Blue Sox 4, Mad Dogs 2. Due up for Lexington in the bottom of the 4th, Gabardi, Vanderzowen, and Casserly.
Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Sponsor our content for as little as $25 a spot, whether you want to promote a business, product, or event, or send a message of support to a player, team, or coach. Email yours truly, samfeelypbp@gmail.com for all the deets. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's the same three hitters coming up that did in a very quick bottom of the second for Alex Casey. Gabardi, Vanderzowen, and Casserly. So if Casey can get a repeat performance of that bottom of the second here, could do wonders for Malden's comeback chances. Outside corner for strike one. I talked earlier about the Blue Sox needing to get separation from their opponents, and all the ICL teams trying to get separation from each other in the ICL standings. It's on the outside edge for a strike, 0-2. I mean, this is the standings coming into play tonight in the ICL. Blue Sox with a win would pull even at 3-3, but the Bulldogs owned the breaker there. And good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Dom Gabardi. 1 up, 1 down. Again, 4 strikeouts now for Casey, all 4 on called third strikes. Here's David Vanderzowen. He was the first strikeout victim of Casey in that second inning. Down and in for a ball. There's only one other game in the ICL tonight, and the Expos are visiting the Americans over at Morelli. But if interleague play plays out anything like it did last year for the Intercity League, these standings that you see here, well, might not be much net change when interleague play starts next week. Now from a 3-pitch strikeout to a 4-pitch walk. And Vanderzowen reaches for the first time. Here's Casserly. Grounded out to short his first time up. Vanderzowen gets a secondary lead, and that one bounces for ball 1. Maddogs mentioned how offense has never been an issue for them in their time in the ICL. It's just been pitching that's been their bugaboo, and every year they've been in the ICL, they've finished either last or next to last in team ERA. They're at 4.67 right now as a team entering play tonight, and they've had better ERA years than that. You have to understand that the pitching and hitting prowess of the league at large can fluctuate, but this is overall much better pitching for the Mad Dogs than we have seen in their time in the ICL, and as such, that is why they are the first team to 10 points, 2 points ahead of Andre entering play tonight. Andre is idle. They'll visit the Expos in Woburn tomorrow at 8 o'clock, weather and authorities permitting. Mostly weather, but there's more rain on the horizon, and even though the Blue Sox are off until Tuesday after this one, as we've seen over the years, it's not simply a matter of was it raining too much on game day. Vanderzowen goes. The pitch is a strike. Throw down is, oh boy, not in time. Oh boy, that was a close one. Nick Vinoki nearly coming out to, someone was, I think was about to come out from the Mad Dogs time, but Nick was just actually looking at his scorebook there. But a runner in scoring position now, and a 1 count. Down away for ball. 1-1. Stolen base for DVZ. Now Luke Ward. The more I think about it, the more terrifying that prospect becomes of. Oh boy. Yeah, it's almost like a squirrel run across the street. Anyways, Ward Grounds this one to first, and it takes a wild carom off the first baseman. PFP, baby! Great recovery, and the Mad Dogs get out of the inning unscathed.
In the bottom of the fourth, no runs on no hits, no Mad Dogs errors, and one runner left on base. We head to the top of the fifth inning. The score remains Blue Sox 4, Mad Dogs 2. Due up for Malden in the top of the fifth, Bellinger, McDuff, and Whitney.
When I say LSP has something for everyone since 2011, I by God mean it. Sports, live events, pet sitting and walking, tech help, parents, and a whole lot more. Herons? Find our Thumbtack page or Linktree LSP37 or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need. Well, following your standard issue 3-4-1 putout that prevents another potential run from scoring for the Blue Sox, the Mad Dogs will come to bat in the top of the fifth.
Bellinger.
Had to turn the light off on the camera. I forgot I'd set it on after the for a wedding I filmed on Saturday, and that'll be outside for ball one. The new noodle for the Blue Sox is Michael O'Brien. Left-hander out of Tufts. 4 innings by Chris Wannett in line for the win, and we'll see if the Blue Sox can hold it. Obi making his second appearance of the season. Also pitched in the game against the Mad Dogs on May 30th. Went 3 innings, allowed 6 hits, 3 earned runs. No walks and 2 strikeouts. And a little bloop over the second baseman's head into right center for a leadoff single by Bowden Belanger. So as the Mad Dogs look for another rally here to pull even or possibly take the lead. It's a good start getting the leadoff man aboard. It actually marks the first time since the first inning that the Mad Dogs did get the leadoff man on. McDuff comes up empty. 0-1. He grounded out 3-1 his first time up. Downstairs for a ball. It is 1-1. McDuff and then Whitney. And barring a double play, Mealy to follow. Oh, swing and a miss on the curveball, 1-2. That looked very tempting at the start. You hope that'll hang a bit more, and then it just doesn't. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 down, and here's Whitney.
The center fielder, number 33, Luke Whitney.
Whitney has been aboard both times and scored the only 2 runs. And the Mad Dogs have at this point. Will the third time be a charm for the Blue Sox to try and retire the Mad Dogs leadoff man? 1-0 the count. Here's Sam Finson one pitch away, but you got a fast runner coming out of the left-handed batter's box. And now read the second line.
That was bad. That would have been bad. Thank you for the fence.
Yeah, I know, right? Boy, if we're in the same spot at Maplewood, shin splints for years. On the outer edge, 1 and 2. It's all, and the fact that you have a speedy guy coming out of the left-handed batter's box makes the double play that much harder. And that's why it's always wild to me that that's why it's always wild to me that Ricky Henderson batted right and threw left. Like I don't know if he was a natural lefty or righty, but if you can do that, I mean that doesn't necessarily mean you can switch hit. But could you imagine? Flare down the left field line goes foul, remains 2 and 2.
I couldn't imagine anything being like Ricky Henderson. Just impossible to actually imagine that.
Like the dude was an alien just from the outset.
Him, Bo Jackson, Bonds, Pujols.
No. I just mean personality-wise, not just his athleticism. There's a John Boyce video about Ricky Henderson's absurd statistical career, and that one gets away from Maltasia, and to second goes Blanchard, and Whitney's still in this one. It's a full count.
Ricky don't care about John. Ricky hitting 320.
Framing that $1 million check. That's the other stuff we're talking about. And telling his teammates about his condo where he could see the entire state building. Well, it is now first and second. And once again, the tying run at first and the go-ahead run
Maddogs, the second baseman.
coming to the plate. Another wild pitch. Brings Mealy to the plate. He has reached base both times. Big spot here for the Mad Dogs to try and pull even or maybe take the lead. 1-0. Blue Sox might want to thank their lucky stars that Marco Zerpolo is not in the lineup. Liner to short, caught for the double play, back to second. Mercy.
Top of the fifth, no runs on one hit. No Blue Sox errors, 2 runners left on base.
Now, that's baseball for you, right?
Lexington Blue Sox 4,
4-2 still
2 up for Lexington.
after 5, after 4.5 rather.
McCullough, Jones, and Anderson.
The LSP store is open. Get yourself a DVD or digital copy of most past LSP video broadcasts or one of several different designs of stickers, shirts, or other merch, including stuff with my dog Tina the Long Arena on it and some words I've probably said on this here YouTube channel over the years. LSP37.creative-spring.com for merch. Email yours truly for game videos. New noodle for the Malden Mad Dogs is Brian Pelrine. Pelrine went 4 2/3 against the Blue Sox on May 30th. allowed 7 hits, 5 earned runs, walked 1, and struck out 2. And he had to bat for himself in that game, and he did not disappoint. His base hit actually caused a bit of a butterfly effect, a domino effect, if you will, that really helped the Mad Dogs' cause in that game, and eventually the Mad Dogs came away with that 7-6 win. Last time out against the Sabres on June 3rd, picked up the win in 2 2/3, did not allow a hit or a run, walked 2, and struck out 1. So after 4 innings by Alex Casey, Brian Pellrine takes over, second pitcher of the night for the Mad Dogs, and it'll be the top 3 hitters in the Blue Sox order: McCullough, Jones, and Anderson. McCullough swings at the first one, fouls it off the other way. 0-1. McCullough with a walk, single, and a couple of runs scored to this point. 4-2 is our score here in the bottom of the 5th. Mad Dogs scored 1 run in the first and 1 run in the third. The Blue Sox scored 2 runs in the first and 2 runs in the third. Chris Wanick going the first 4 for the Blue Sox. In line for the win, Michael O'Brien wiggling out of trouble in the top half of this inning, thanks to a screamer of a liner to short that was caught by the man at the bat right now, McCullum, then soft toss over to Vanderzoun at second to complete an inning-ending 6-4 double play. And now strokes this one to left center field, does McCullough! He did not catch it. A fine effort laying out the center fielder, Whitney, but it'll be McCullough at second to begin the inning.
The third baseman, number 4, Brendan Jones.
McCullough with a double. Whitney laying out, hoping to make a Web Gem-worthy catch. We already saw one fine play in right from McElroy, but Whitney could not match that one, and now it's a runner in scoring position to begin the inning for the Blue Sox. Here's Jones. He's been on board twice. Plunked in the first, single in the third, and takes on the inside corner for strike 1. Again, the Blue Sox are off until next Tuesday. Interleague play begins next week against the fine folks from the Yawkey League and the Park League. And the first interleague opponent on the dock for the Blue Sox, as stolen base for McCullough, will be the Boston Athletics of the Boston Park League. Tuesday night, 8 o'clock first pitch on this here YouTube channel from LHS. Blue Sox will then visit the Al Thomas Athletics, the Yawkey League, on Wednesday night at 8. And then on Saturday, in the Jerry DeAngelis ICL Day of Baseball, Blue Sox will host the Brighton Black Sox. It's funny that I mentioned the Black Sox. There's obviously the big news recently of Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose being removed from the ineligible list from Major League Baseball. The Savannah Bananas were interviewed recently. I think it was on 60 Minutes. And you never want to be you never want, to be accused of these games like being like scripted theater or whatever. Like are the party animals supposed to be their, Washington Generals or whatever? But they tell you but they tell the truth, and when they say, you like baseball is not a game you can actually script, not knowing which way the ball will carry depending on how you hit it and everything. Like the only way you could do that is if you did like the actions that caused the Black Sox to get banned from Major League Baseball, not the Brighton Black Sox, of course. And so those are actual competitive games. It's just that it's, entertainment infused and people love it. So much so that they sold out Marlins Park on back-to-back nights recently. Something the Marlins can't even do. Grounder up the middle, fielded second, flipped to the shortstop for one. On to first will not be in time. It is 5-2.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the right fielder, number 9, Jake McElroy.
So McCullough scores. Jones is retired 4-6. Anderson gets an RBI reaching on the fielder's choice. And here's McElroy. 2-run single his first time up. And Jesse McCullough, 3 runs tonight. Walk, single, and double. Anderson goes, swing and a miss. Throw down to second. Not in time. So 0-2 is the count with 1 down and a runner in scoring position now on the stolen base by Anderson. McElroy struck out looking his last time. 1 for 2. Camella due up next. Curveball in the outside corner. Strike 3 called, and another called third strike for the Maddogs. That's how they've gotten all their strikeouts tonight.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the left fielder, number 18.
Including the one of Charlie Camella back in the third. Camella's had some tough luck tonight. Popped up into that 5-6-2 double play in the first when the Blue Sox were trying to put together a huge inning in the bottom of the first. And then, of course, struck out looking last time up. 0-1 is the count to Charlie Camella. In the top of the 6th, Mad Dogs will have Pellegrini, Browning, and Teddy McLaughlin due up. Pelrine misses outside for a ball 1-1. Blue Sox extending the lead with a run in this inning, thanks to the leadoff double and steal by Jesse McCullough, who then came home on the fielder's choice off the bat of Nick Anderson, who stands at second currently after a stolen base of his own. But 1-2 count right now to Charlie Camella. Anderson getting his lead at second. Look back by Pelrine. Slow delivery outside. Trying to maybe throw off Anderson's timing in case he was thinking of taking off for third. Is 2-2 though. Maltasia due up next. Ooh, boy. Seen Blue Sox batters get rung up on pitches of that shape plenty of times tonight, but not that spot. A little too high. Full count. Payoff, here it comes. Swing and a miss. The first swinging third strike of the night for the Blue Sox, but they do extend the lead, and they're up 5-2 after 5.
No one runner left on base. We head to the top of the 6th inning. The Lexington Blue Sox, 5. The Malden Maddogs, 2. Due up for the Maddogs in the top of the 6th, Pellegrini, Browning, and McLaughlin.
Are you down with the sound called LSP? Of course you are. Then follow and support us on the web. Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Flash your subscribe button. Membership's also available. PayPal Creator Spring, LSP 37. Tastes great on a cracker.
Sox, the right-hander, number 32, Jack Volo.
Whole new battery as we begin the top of the 6th for the Blue Sox with Bobby D'Agostino getting the assignment behind the plate now, and he'll be catching Jack Volo, Georgetown product. Third noodle of the game for the Blue Sox after 4 innings from Wannett and 1 from Obi. Volo making his 2nd appearance of the season. He took the loss against the Maddogs back on May 30th when 3 innings, allowed 1 hit, 2 runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and threw 2 wild pitches. First pitch swinging, fly ball into left, and it'll be caught for out number 1 by Charlie Camella.
Now batting for the Maddogs, the extra.
So not a great start to that inning as the designated hitter, Pellegrini, flies out on 1 pitch. He's now 0 for 3. And here's Sam Browning, the extra hitter, 1 for 2, single in the first, and will fly out to right in the 4th. Down and away for a ball, 1-0. Now, win or lose, extra difficult version of Rick math to do about our weekends in the post-game speech. 1-1. The Blue Sox still 5 defensive outs to get. Can't rest on your laurels yet. And a little blooper into center, and that'll get down in front of the center fielder Anderson for 1 out base hit for Browning, and now he's 2 for 3.
The right fielder, number 8, Teddy McLaughlin.
They still got to finish this one off. I still got to finish this game too. And hoping to pull even with in the season series with the Maddogs. That bounces to the plate and then to the backstop. And on another wild pitch, to second goes Browning. A.J. Lisco is also in the game at first base now for the Blue Sox. As there's now another runner in scoring position for the Malden Maddogs. 1-0 is the count. Liner to left and through for a base hit. The runners at the corners and the tying run coming to the plate in the person of Miles Ooh.
Now batting the shortstop, number 31, Miles Ooh.
Teddy McLaughlin picks up his first hit of the ball game. And now Ooh to the plate. Popped up to the catcher in the second. A single in the 4th. It started a mini 2-out, nobody on rally, but it was a ground out by Otto McLaughlin that put an end to that one. Bounces, but good job by Bobby Daggs to secure that one and prevent McLaughlin from taking off for second. It is 1-0. Down away, 2-0. I don't know if this is a product of just some teams not logging all their wild pitches, but the Blue Sox entering tonight, that's foul, have thrown 7 wild pitches, which is by far the most in the ICL. Melrose has thrown 2, and then nobody else has logged one. Yeah, yeah, it's easy to like miss, maybe not log that one, and I'm not accusing any of the other teams of doing that, willfully or maliciously or anything. I mean, sometimes there's a lot that happens in a baseball game, and that'll make it 2-2, and sometimes you can't read your own scorecard. I know I've worked several games like that. I'm not just talking about my father's handwriting genes. 2-2. Runner goes, popped up, foul and out of play. Jared McDonald, who is 2 for 2 so far, is due up next. And again, representing the tying run here in the top of the 6th. Fly ball into right towards the line. That'll be caught. A quick throw home. Not in time. What a strong throw there, though, by Jake McElroy. Already had a phenomenal sliding catch earlier in the evening. Able to quickly turn around and fire a bullet home to at least make it close. A sac fly by makes it 5-3. And still the tying run at the plate. Now in the person of Jared McDonald, who's 2 for 2. Spike it. I mean, well, he went low, and there you go, 1-0. Chris pointing out that, I believe it was the first pitch swing on both those hits, yeah. Ooh, just missed, 2-0. In the bottom of the 6th, Blue Sox will have D'Agostino, Gabardi, and Vanderzouen due up.
A lot of syllables due up.
The benefit of reading names for a living, right, Chris?
It gets intrinsic. It's just like, oh man.
I actually,
So much fun announcing those names.
like some people are pleasantly surprised when I get it on the first try, and not just when I'm working a sports game. It's on the inside corner, strike 2. Playing in the pre-release for the new Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy set the other night, and my opponent actually you said, "Wow, you know how to pronounce my name? I appreciate that." I was like, "I do. I read names for a living." Runner goes, pitches downstairs. D'Agostino, the throw not in time. And McLaughlin thinking of taking off after the throw had gone offline, but think better of it. Hold it second. Runner in scoring position. Full count, 2 down for Jared McDonald. Representing the tying run. Otto McLaughlin due up next. Here comes the payoff. Fouled off. We'll do it again.
All right, so this guy can jump on the first pitch. He can fight out long.
I mean, folks, he can do anything. McDonald hoping to make it a 3 for 3 and potentially make this a 1-run game. Payoff once again. Bounces to the plate. It's ball 4 anyways. McLaughlin to third. Walk for McDonald. And here comes Otto. Or maybe not. Oh, you have the catcher's gear on. And we're going to have a stoppage as Sam Steed comes out. Proud of his Tampa Spartans winning the NCAA Division II College World Series last week. Hoping to convey some of that good mojo over to Jack Volu. They're a powerhouse. Of course, Bruce, being the Florida Southern alum, would rather we not wish them well, of course. All right. Otto McLaughlin with runners at the corners. He represents the go-ahead run. At first is McDonald representing the tying run, and that is downstairs for a ball. McLaughlin grounded out to second to end the top of the fourth his last time up, and that was a spot when the Maddogs had 2 on with 2 out. Grounds this one to third. This could be a tough play. Takes a bat hop. Run scores. Teddy comes in from third. It is a 1-run ball game. Starting to have NAM flashbacks to the game on May 30th. So the tying run now in scoring position for Bowden Bellinger. Strikeout in the second, single in the fifth. Outside edge, strike one. Bellinger led off that fifth with a single, but then was doubled off on the line out 6-4 double play to end the inning at second. Another dribbler to the third base side, and that'll go foul. It'll be 0-2. You already saw Brendan Jones make one heads-up play by swiping a ball, rolling along the line, foul at the right moment. No such luck that time. And again, the tying run in scoring position for the Malden Maddogs. Volo. Swing and a miss, strike three. Huge strikeout there for Jack Volo. Strands the tying run in scoring position, but the Maddogs creep ever closer, and we go to the bottom of the sixth, 5-4, Blue Sox.
Malden Maddogs, 4. Due up for Lexington in the bottom of the sixth, D'Agostino, Gabardi, and Van der Zowen. Thank you, sir. Nico.
LSP and Shipping Shield are partners in cards. Shipping Shields are the eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors trusted by yours truly, made in the U.S. and Canada on 100% recyclable cardboard. Use the codes and the link on the screen or in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your continued support of whatever this is. We go to the bottom of the sixth, and the Maddogs now on to their third pitcher of the game, as it'll be the right-hander Nico Tambasha. Tambasha, his only appearance so far this season is back on June 5th against the Bulldogs, when 1 inning, did not allow a hit or a run or a walk, and struck out 2. Last year for the Maddogs, he had no decisions in 4 games and 5 2/3 innings, but an ERA of 9.88. He allowed 6 hits, 9 runs, 8 of which were earned, walked 12, and struck out 11. Only one of those games was against an ICL foe, however. That was against the Melrose Americans on June 19th of last year. He went an inning and 2/3, allowed 1 hit, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, walked 5, and struck out 2. He struggled against the East Boston Knights, the Brighton Black Sox of the Yawkey League, allowing a total of 4 runs in 3 innings and 5 hits and 3 walks. And then against the Boston A's on July 10th of last year, 1 inning, no hits, 2 earned runs, and 4 walks and 2 Ks. And as I mentioned, he had a clean inning against the Lexington Bulldogs back on June 5th. And now back on the bump, hoping to keep this a 1-run game going into the 7th inning. Jack Volo gets out of the fire with the lead still intact. And now we'll see what D'Agostino, Gabardi, and Vanderzowen can do, although we have a number of other players with bats in the air. You got Brian Acosta up there. If he's going to be hitting for Gabardi, or maybe we'll find out soon enough. So it's going to be Bobby Daggs batting in this slot. That was originally Luke Maltasia's. He flew out to right and flew out to left in his 2 ABs tonight. So here comes Bobby Daggs. And again, thanks to Mrs. D'Agostino for the kind words. What was that accent? Again, thanks to Mrs. D'Agostino for the kind words before the Catuit game on Sunday. And Bobby Daggs takes strike one. Bobby, in his 3rd game of the year, he is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. His only AB came on June 2nd against the Expos. He is behind 0-2. D'Agostino, then Brian Acosta is in the on-deck circle, and then it's David Vanderzowen's spot due up after that. From 0-2 to 2-2. Little high, ball 3. All the Blue Sox catchers do. Swing and a miss, though, for strike 3. 1 up, 1 down.
Entering the game and now batting in the extra hitter spot, number 31, Brian Acosta.
And it's not like Maltasia gave away his at-bats when he flied out those 2 times either. Those are the things that the Blue Sox catching corps does very well consistently. Rolls away from the catcher, McLaughlin, for ball 1 to Brian Acosta. Pinch hitting for Dom Gabardi. Gabardi finishes his day 0 for 2 with a ground out to third and a strikeout. The count is now even at 1-1. Acosta looking for his first base hit of the year, 0 for 4 in 2 games, was 0 for 3 against Malden back on May 30th. Dribbles that at the plate, and that'll be 1-2 for the count. Acosta only played in 2 games last year for the Blue Sox. Was 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. In 2023, in 20 games, he slashed 211, 268, 237 with 1 double and 5 ribbies. One and 2 is the count to Brian Acosta. Fouls that one off, and we'll do it again. There is action behind, or maybe just, I think that's Brian Gare getting warmed up. They also had Josh Becker getting loose according to Chris, but that'll bounce to the plate, 2-2. This is a point of the game, though, where, stretching out at-bats doesn't really mean anything if you don't get any kind of production. Because you've seen a 3-run lead shrink down to 1, and knowing how these guys took a win from you earlier this season, you want to get as much insurance as you can. What on earth? Wow. That's supposed to be a routine fly ball out number 2, and Brian Acosta,
Second baseman, number 46.
happy birthday. He's in scoring position out of nowhere like an RKO. And it's 0-1. Vander Zouwen, 0 for 1, struck out looking the second, walked and stole second in the fourth. Comes up empty there. It is 0-2. Runner takes off for third, throw down the line, in fact. Acosta will come home.
That's an unearned run.
Wow. I mean, take what you can get, right?
In the bottom of the sixth?
Yeah, to turn a 1-run lead into a 2-run lead, absolutely. If that throw's on target, he's gone, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
Down away, 2-2.
I mean, especially when they got that second run, and it felt like it was going to be such a white knuckle second inning.
Yes, and then, the drop fly ball in center. Of all the unearned runs, that's the unearnediest. Fouled off. And just for good measure, David Vander Zouwen is going to, drag out this at-bat too. See, that's the thing. Talk about the whole, who's afraid of the big bad Blue Sox, narrative, I guess. That's down the line for a base hit for Vander Zouwen. Look at him go on his way to second with a stand-up double.
Entering the game and now hitting in the designated hitter spot, number 20, Ben Leonard.
You got to give the opposition a reason to fear you, and Rick DeAngelis always uses the metaphor of drive the bus just generally, but then there are other layers to that to put your opponent out of its misery, and that's what the Blue Sox are hoping to do here. Don't give them any hope. Don't let them forget it. 1-1. Ben Leonard now batting for the Blue Sox. Outside for a ball. It is 2-1. Leonard getting his first plate appearance of the season, and now it'll be 3-1. Fly ball into right over towards the line, and that is also I don't think there was any signal there's no signal from the umpires about an out there. The right fielder got twisted around. Didn't see, did he? Just gonna make sure here. Yeah, I was gonna say, wow. Teddy McLaughlin got twisted around there trying to follow that fly ball. That also got away from him.
Blue Sox, the first baseman, number 34, A.J. Lisco.
A.J. Lisco came in the game defensively. Takes a strike, 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Leonard last year was had a slash line of 333, 512, 433 with 1 double, 1 triple, and 8 ribbies, and picking up where he left off. His first AB of the year. Winning the books is an error, I heard.
That was a hit.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a double.
You have 2 errors because
Yeah,
of the drop.
the drop and then the throw, right? Always tough to have a double where you as the base runner can only advance 1 base. But of course, in a spot like this, you don't want to run yourself into outs when you have a chance to maybe put this one out of reach. Yeah, exactly. There's a point where you can, just go for it as a base runner. A 2-run lead in the bottom of the 6th is not that. Lisco into right center field, and that'll be caught. Vander Zouwen tags from third. He scores standing up 7-4.
Now batting for the Blue Sox, the shortstop, number 12, Jesse McCullough.
Lisco with the sac fly, and the lineup turns over for Jesse McCullough. And that misses up and in for ball 1. In the top of the 7th, the Mad Dogs will have McDuff, Whitney, and Mealy due up. Laced into right field for a base hit. 3rd hit of the ball game for Jesse McCullough, and it is 8-4.
The third baseman, number 4, Brendan Jones.
McCullough's 3 for 3 with 2 singles, a double, a walk, a steal, and 3 runs scored. There's Brendan Jones, who has also been on base all 3 times. He's a strike. 0-1. I feel like this is the revenge game for the Blue Sox, specifically against Brian Bellrine. McCullough takes off for second after the ball drifted away from Otto McLaughlin. Jones hit by a pitch in the first, then scored. Singled in home a run in the third. Drew a walk in the 5th. It is 2-1. Jones draws another walk, and I could see him slow down the pitch of the bat. So thinking, oh, wait, was that strike 3? Nope, he got the good news this time. So Jones aboard for the 4th time in 4 plate appearances and only 1 hit. What does he do? He gets on base. And there's Nick Anderson. 1 for 2. Walk in the first. Single in the third. Reach on fielder's choice and stole a base in the 5th. Fouled off. 1-1. Chris, you were talking with Rick before the game how batting practice, the guys looked good. The ball was, coming out, was jumping. And I mean, yeah, it's like, cooler now with, the humdiddy and whatever. But they've taken advantage.
It's just nice to have a game where there's like a lot of balls put in play.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. 2-2 with 2 out and 2 runners on. And that'll be ball 3. Blue Sox matching their season high in runs with 8 and hoping to make it more. Runners go. Payoff. Fouled off. Oof. That's audible from here. It really is. It feels like, feast or famine with the Blue Sox offense. We got the 8 runs against the Chiefs in that win. And that's a ball, and that'll be another walk. And their second best output of the season before this was in the loss to the Mad Dogs, a game that they were 3 defensive outs away from winning. So the bases are loaded for Jake McElroy. Ground to the left side. Throw to second. Wow. Well, highlight reel defensive play does come courtesy of Miles Ooh, but the Blue Sox get that much-needed insurance and lead 8-4 closing time for the Blue Sox going to the 7th.
The Lexington Blue Sox 8, the Malden Maddogs 4.
When I say LSP is something for everyone since 2011, I by God mean it. Sports, live events, pet singing, walking, tech help, errands, and a whole lot more. Find our Thumbtack page or Linktree LSP37 or email yours truly so we can proceed to give you what you need. It'll be Josh Becker to try and finish things off here in the top of the 7th for the Blue Sox, up 8-4 on the Malden Mad Dogs.
The third baseman, number 1, Matt McDuff.
Becker making his 3rd appearance of the season, 1-0, with has not allowed a run in 3 1/3 innings, been struck out 5 and walked nobody. His win came against the Chiefs back on May 28th. And it's funny that that's the case because there's a 4-run lead against the Mad Dogs. The Blue Sox looked like they were going to coast to victory in that top of the 7th in that game against the Chiefs. The Chiefs made it a game again, and knowing that the Mad Dogs had already, flipped the script on you once when you had the lead on them, don't want to do it again, especially when they're down 4 rather than 1. Yeah, I know, right? Miles Reed told us after that Chiefs game that was the first time, certainly that he remembers, of pitching in a competitive game. But then I said, well, hey, if Dave Stieb can make something out of that, you can too. Grounder to second, fielded there. On to first, 1 down. So it'll be Chris Wannett in line for the win. Assuming this score holds, not a save situation for Becker. The lineup turns over for Luke Whitney. 2 singles and a walk. How many fingers am I holding up? 0-1. Oh and 2. Outside for a ball. It'll be 1 and 2. I appreciate you covering the music for me, Chris, by the way. Just, I feel like your taste is not nearly as niche as mine. Then again, whose is?
Well, I have a wide swath. I'm just keeping everything in.
Oh, no, I totally understand. But, like,
Maybe not.
oh, just missed outside, full count.
What would you categorize your niche?
Let me put it this way: when Katrina and I first started dating, that's laced into left field, and that will get down in front of the left fielder for a 1-out base hit. When Katrina and I first started dating, people were asking her, what kind of music does he like? And her response was, it's hard to explain.
The second baseman.
Isn't that right, dear?
Number 10, Luke Mealy. Got a hit every inning.
Whitney reaches base for the 4th time in 4 plate appearances. A hit in every inning tonight for the Mad Dogs. But Luke Mealy's last time at bat was a stinger for Malden, but he hits this one into left for another base hit. He hit a line drive into a 6-4 double play that stopped a rally for the Mad Dogs. But now another one could be brewing here. It's 1st and 2nd with 1 out. Tying run is still in the on-deck circle, though. So it'll be Anthony Pellegrini looking to get off the schneid, 0 for 3 with a strikeout, grounding into a 6-4-3 double play, and a fly out to left to this point, and could wipe that all from the memory if he comes up with a big hit here. So here we go. With Whitney on second and Mealy on first, Pellegrini swings at the first one and fouls it off for strike 1.
This is the designated hitter, number 32, Anthony Pellegrini. The timing of that mound is messed me up. Sorry, everyone.
It's all Sam Steed's fault.
Hell of a guy, Sam.
0-1. Driven into deep left center field, back, and it is caught on the run. Charlie Camella turning on the Jets to track that one down. Huge second out.
The extra hitter, number 15, Sam Browning.
So here is Sam Browning. Last chance for the Mad Dogs. When you're in this spot, you can't try to be a hero. Even a home run doesn't even tie the game. Just got to keep grinding, pass it to the next one if you can. It's 0-1 now to Browning, who is 2 for 3, couple of singles, runs scored. Flew out to right, leading off the 4th for the one time he hasn't gotten on base. Just outside for a ball, 1-1. If Browning can get on base, Teddy McLaughlin would come up next. Pop fouling out of play behind us. The Mad Dogs down to their final strike.
Let's go, Josh. Atta boy.
Whitney at second, Mealy at first, 1-2. Down and away, D'Agostino keeps it close. Fouled straight back and read the third line. Still 2-2. Runners go. It's fouled off again. We've been seeing the Mad Dogs tonight take off on 2-2 counts in these spots rather than 3-2. I was a little around 3-2 as well, but not running this time, and it's a swing and a miss. And the ball game is over.
Tonight's final score, the Lexington Blue Sox 8, the Malden Maddogs 4. The win credited to Chris Wannett, taking the loss,
Alex Casey. With the win, the Blue Sox move to 3-3 on the season, and with the loss, the Mad Dogs fall to 5-3. Time of game 2:08.
And the Lexington Blue Sox, the pattern continues. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. And a good one, 8-4. Able to prevent the tying run from coming to the plate in the top of the seventh and taking advantage of some miscues by the Mad Dogs in the bottom of the sixth to ensure that it stayed out of reach. Chris Wannett picks up the dub. Alex Casey takes the L, no save. Tying game was 2 hours and 7 minutes. Lexington Blue Sox now at 3-3, and the Mad Dogs falling to 5-3 with the Expos Americans results still pending. So again, the Blue Sox will be off until next Tuesday when interleague play begins against the Park League and the Yawkey League. So with that said, this has been a presentation of LSP, serving something for everyone since 2011, copyright 2025. Unauthorized redistribution of any portion of this broadcast is strictly prohibited. A reminder that shipping shields are the trusted, eco-friendly sports and gaming card shipping protectors by yours truly. Use the codes and the link on the screen and in the description for a discount on your order. We may receive a commission from those orders, but we thank you for your support of whatever this is, which you can also do by sponsoring future LSP content, hiring us to work your next live event or whatever else we could do for you on a given day, buying some gratuitous merch or game videos from the LSP store, and of course, don't forget to follow and support us on the web, Linktree, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, PayPal, Creator Spring, LSP37, and of course, follow and support the Blue Sox and the Intercity League all season long at intercityleaguebaseball.com and the Intercity League Facebook page. Once again, the final score from center field at Lexington High School in Lexington, Mass. It is the Lexington Blue Sox 8 and the Malden Mad Dogs 4. For Chris Del Sordo and all my rowdy friends here at LHS, my name is Sam Feely, reminding you forever and always, freelance isn't free. Thanks for tuning in, fresh for 2020.